And now for our feature presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are both musicians. We are both in the music industry. And so there's a lot of talk about should gospel artists be paid? Should they charge for their gift?
Well, I could just go from my experience. When I started singing at church back in Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach, shout out to Thomas Temple Church of God in Christ. My mama was the choir director. My dad, I sang in a quartet group too. So I had like a dual job. I was singing in the choir as a tenor, and I was singing in the quartet with my dad. Sometimes they got paid, sometimes they didn't, but they never gave me any money. Like, I didn't know that you could get paid. Matter of fact, the first time I started getting paid is when we started asking, like, years later, years and years later. But I sang, all my childhood, not even thinking about money. I also, when I went to the Morehouse College Glee Club, when I went to Morehouse, I was given a grant. So I was not thinking that I was getting paid for money to go to school to sing, but I kind of was. So you got to think about how many years of service that I did for not getting paid, that school started to take care of me. Then we started our own studio. I wasn't doing the will of God. Then I just wanted to sing again, get back into right standing with God. So when I went back to World Changers, I am serving, singing in the choir,
Right.
And just doing what I had to do in the choir, looking like a thug. I was looking like, out of place. I felt like I was, but I wasn't. And I just sang. I wasn't concerned about anything but getting right with God. Over time, as I started to serve in the youth ministry, here's the difference. At that point, they came to me. I was kind of sought out for a specific
Position, right.
I had a skill that
Sound like the movie, The Skill Set. Oh.
I had a different skill set that wasn't in service mode. So let me put it like this: you can have a drummer that's at the church,
That's faithful.
that
shows
can play,
up.
but he don't play on beat. so at that point, you do have somebody that's faithful that will be there. He's
Right.
at every rehearsal, but the skill set that you desire, all right, you got somebody to play the drums, but the skill set that you desire is not in the membership. So that therefore you have to employ that particular person. You can't pull him because he may be playing at another church or playing or doing another gig or something that he's believing God to take care of his bills and all of that type of stuff, and he has a certain skill set, and then he comes and replace the free guy because you get what you pay for.
Right.
So at this point now, he is getting paid to serve. He still serve. You got to understand that when you're paying, you're still paying for a service. So he's still serving.
I'm glad you said that.
When your lights get cut off, your service got cut off.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's still serving.
So why is that a thing with singers? And most of the time it's with pastors as well. That you should be giving your gift to God. You should be doing this for the kingdom. Why is that an issue? Georgia Power's not doing it for the kingdom. Your sound person is not doing it for the kingdom. They're doing it to get paid, to feed their family. Why is this the case with a singer and with preachers?
I think when it comes to singing and preaching, money is a touchy subject either way.
It should be.
And here's the deal: when everybody who's serving in the kingdom can go there. The usher can say, usher, I ain't ushering another preacher. No more until I
I've been
get
ushering for free for 50 years.
Everybody serves.
Right.
But most of the times, those people serve in a capacity that they can have a job with it, which means, the person that's ushering, the person that's parking cars, the person that's doing other things, they may have another job that can pay bills, that allow them to serve in that capacity. It takes a lot of preparation to be a seasoned pastor, preacher,
Singer, yeah.
Singer. those people who have committed to it to spend the time to take it to the next level, to take a chance to that I'm not gonna go and get another job, that I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna be available, because also preachers and teachers understand, and singers understand, and churches understand that, wait a minute, where's pastor? Oh, pastor had to go to work.
Pastor gotta go to work.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, where's the good praise and worship leader? Well, he can't be here because he has a job, So y'all got to deal with the one that you have. So you got to understand that a person who is a professional at what they do and have taken the time that they would be at work, the time that they would be studying, the time that they would be doing something else to season their gifts so that they could be available for the church or for concerts or whatever, that is the exchange of that time. Because if you're not available, then you got to deal with the drummer that don't play too well, or the keyboard player that only plays in one key.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Or the bass player that don't know how to tune his guitar.
Oh,
you gotta deal with what you gotta deal with, because you can't blame a person who is available for you and who is professional for you, and you don't want to take care of them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, okay, well then, why don't I just be a member and get the word and don't give tithe and offering? Or, you bring a pastor that has a gift that comes to your church and he does healing and you get healed. There are men and women with certain skill sets. Here's the other thing about that. Sometimes God is going to tell you to go for no money. We've gone for no money.
Yep.
I was like, man, I just feel led to go. The Lord is telling me to go. Or we've gotten there, we got a deposit, and we perform, and they come to us and say, we don't have the back half of it. Sometimes they come to you before you go up. Bro, I don't have it, bro. I was expecting it, but I don't have the back half. You don't have to perform, or you don't have to sing, or you don't have to minister. And I've always, all the time, no matter what situation, I don't do me like this on purpose, because God gonna get you. But most of the times I've done it anyway. All of the times I've done it anyway because I believe God. I believe God sent me. I believe God has me there, and we're doing an exchange of faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. I didn't have confidence to ask people for money. If it wasn't for you, you
gotta feed the family.
I gotta feed the family, and I didn't know that people would pay.
Yeah.
It's just where I came from. So I kept the same servant heart, but still trained to get excellent at what I was doing, so that I could be a professional.
So do you feel
to
like
provide a skill
if
set?
that same thing happened with the drummer or the sound person or the lighting
Sound person getting paid.
if they don't get their back end,
back
end, do you think they'll stay there and say, well,
I believe that
this.
they're on salary, so they're getting theirs anyway. I believe that those people who just come by faith to get their, that has a contract for that specific situation, is the people that we're all taking a chance. But there are people, man, that are in positions that I heard one preacher say that, that God is getting ready to judge those people who are has this star attitude.
Yeah,
and I believe that celebrity. I believe that, man, even though you people may bless you, you stay humble. You stay humble, you stay a servant. I am there to serve that ministry when I'm there. I'm not trying to be this superstar, off to myself type of non-speaking.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories about gospel artists that, that come to serve a ministry but know how to turn it on when they get on the stage and turn it off when they... I'm like, I'm just too real. I don't want to be like that.
Okay, so can you stay humble and handle business?
Oh,
is
yeah,
that possible?
definitely. I would say business is business, but, get somebody to handle business for you, because sometimes you can get in the flesh if that money's not there or whatever, and sometimes it's not necessarily the money, it's the expectation. This is what you told me, bro.
Right.
Like I'm not mad if we would have agreed on something and there's an agreement for me to come, leave my family to come to your ministry or whatever, and we have an agreement, and then you didn't meet our expectations. You lied to me. So I can't feel a certain type of way because I was lied to or I expected something. So certain times, you got to have certain things in place so you won't get taken advantage of. But on the other end, if the Lord tell you to go, you got to go. Like, that's money or no money. Like, if you got to go, because there's certain things and several things that I've done over the years that I put my money. See, there's one thing that you go for free or you go for money. There are times that I have to go and I have to pay for everything. So that's another level of faith where you got to pay for it, where you got to take and then you got to do an offering, and if people give, they give, but if they don't, you still got to trust God. And so, God was going to take you from faith to faith, glory to glory to glory. And so in this season of my life, man, I'm believing God for supernatural things to happen without me having to stop the beat. For demons to be cast out while I'm singing. For people to be healed while I'm singing. You know what I'm saying? While I'm rapping, while I'm doing whatever, while the music is going forward. Not an altar call, not somebody come and fall out and give their lives to Jesus while the song is still playing. I'm believing God for something different in this season for all types of musicians. I think also that God is going to judge for those people who are doing certain things that's not in his will. And the thing about being in the will of God, there are certain people that know exactly what they're doing wrong and won't fix it, And so if I understand that I'm out of line with something that God has told me to do, and it could be something super small, I have to change that. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep my heart postured to God, man.
Right.
And, because there's been a lot of money coming in.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of money coming in. There's been no money coming in. And my posture doesn't change because of that. Because I believe that my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. And so certain people can't take this star mentality. Now, if you got a swag, then that's your swag 24/7. Don't turn it on when you get on stage, and turn it off.
And then on the other hand, you can't have the ministry manipulating you and making you feel bad because you're not doing this for God.
Right.
Oh, your heart isn't right, and your heart is right.
Right.
But they take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you can't allow. You got certain things. That's why you do contracts. You do certain things so everybody can have a clear understanding of what's expected. Because you could tell me, oh, you coming for the money, but then invite me and raise a huge offering. Like you doing it.
Exactly.
If it ain't about the money for me, it's about the money
Somewhere.
for somebody.
Somebody there is
you know what I'm
money.
saying? If you ain't gonna pay me, you gonna keep it. Then you came up. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why money is so. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. The perspective of money, how you love it, are you willing? Because there are people that's willing to spend a lot for what they respect. They'll spend it. If you respect it, you're going to pay for it. If you respect the car note, you're going to pay for it. If you respect God's business and what the pastor,
if you want lights in your building, you respect that.
That's no feelings.
Right.
There's no argument. You notice there's no posting arguments about light bills.
Right.
Yeah. Like, your lights are off. It ain't got nothing to do with God. You just didn't pay.
Exactly.
You still in right standing with God. You're just in the dark. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a pastor that has to have a job or whatever, he studies his word, but he can't spend as much time in his word because he got to be concerned with what he got to do to feed his family. And then when you bring somebody in that's 24 hours, 7 days a week on that level, or God has told him to step off of his job, and just believe me, and ask here and ask there, So people are making a mockery of people who bring gifts to the man of God. Like, nah, they brought gifts to Jesus. You said, and Jesus didn't ask for it. And sometimes you ask out of faith and say, hey, man, I need your help. I think, and I want y'all to hear me good. I think asking for alms is the most humbling thing that you can do, because you're saying, man, I need y'all help. Right. Like, I need your help. Now, if you feel like the man of God is taking advantage or whatever, but I ain't really cool with people making other people feel bad for not having it or not giving. But from a hip hop perspective, you know, from you know, rappers and how we try to put on like we got it already.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, it's the you gotta act like you got it. I listen, y'all ain't gotta give today. Matter of fact, I'm buying everybody Benzes at the end.
Right.
You know, but when you come to the point and say, hey man, I need y'all help. You know, I really need y'all help on this. We're trying to do this for these kids or do this, and I need y'all help. If that spirit was taken, I believe people would be a lot more calm to give. I love how you know, our church does it. You know, they show where the money's going.
Right,
like
right.
they show who, you know, the orphan that they're supporting and all that type of stuff. So you know, and how we do it at Free Life. You know, hey bro, you know, get in the presence of God and do what He tell you to do.
And have the boldness to do it.
You know,
Yeah.
but people with gifts and certain skill sets, if that skill set is not in your church, if you don't have a 7-year-old prodigy that can play organ, you're gonna have to play an organ player. You're gonna have to pay him, you know, because he has a skill set that's not. Now, if you want Mother Gertrude to play, yeah, she can play. It's a little old school, but don't say that people are not serving. You got people that's willing to play for free. You just don't want to hear them. You got people that's willing to sing for free. You just don't want to hear them. So for this season, I believe that you know, men and women should go by faith. Period.
Right.
Whether you get paid or not, you know, you got to be willing to do what God tell you to do. Period. Because sometimes your blessings are cut off. I don't care how much you get paid, you still are not blessed because you're not obedient. The purest form of worship is obedience. It's not singing slow songs or singing these songs. It's did you do what I told you to do? Are you on the drums and you're supposed to be on the bass? You see what I'm saying? The details of obedience is worship. And that's where a lot of people miss it. You're just not being obedient. You know God is telling you to do something, and you're not doing it. You're singing, you have a great gift, but you mad, or you bitter, or you going at it with your husband or your wife, or you at odds with your kids, or you mad with the pastor. All of those types, you getting paid, but you're not worshiping because you're in obedience.
Right.
What did God tell you to do, and did you do it?
Right.
Yeah. So we'll be back with more. Hallelujah.
Feel like.
Feel like.